Hi everyone, Sandra here from the Schwoven's Nest. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute table sign for the craft fairs that are coming up for the season. If you're curious about what I'm going to be selling at my craft fairs, please check out my Etsy shop to see some of my designs. The link is also in my description box below. A quick thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you supporting my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. Click that red button, like my videos, and share them with friends and family. I went to Michael's looking for other things and came across this cute little table sign, so I used my 50% off coupon to purchase it. I'm also going to be using some of Dollar Tree's birch wooden sticks. They're little pieces that you can get, and I'm also going to be using a stain from Minwax in the color of walnut. So this first step is going to be just staining the bottom portion of the stand. I'm going to use a foam brush to apply the stain, and then I'm going to use a smaller brush to get into the corner, and then I will use a rag to wipe some of it off. I'm going to use my chalk paint in linen white from Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to paint the upright portion of the sign in that color. I'll be painting both sides and all of the edges. I've been trying a lot of different chalk paints recently. I've got one from Folk Art and I've tried one from Martha Stewart, and I keep coming back to the Rust-Oleum brand. It goes on really smoothly, it dries really quickly, and that's really helpful for doing crafts. I don't want to have to be waiting all the hours and hours to get something to dry. The other thing I really like about the Rust-Oleum brand is places like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Home Hardware carry them, and so they can be tinted to whatever color you want. So if you're looking for something really specific, they can do that for you. I'm now going to use these wood sticks and my hot glue gun and just create a bit of a frame on the sides of the sign. I'm starting out with some larger pieces at the bottom and working my way smaller to the top. Here I've got a birdhouse that I picked up at, I believe it was Dollarama, and it was probably about $1.50. And what I decided to do was cut it in a third. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want my sign to have some 3D effect to it. So I'm going to be placing it somewhere on my sign. But before that, I need to give it some color. I'm going to use a moss green for the body of the birdhouse, and I'm going to use a chocolate brown to do the roof, and then I'm also going to distress the wood so it has a little bit more of a weathered wood effect. Now that I've got the birdhouse painted and it's dry, I'm going to figure out how I want to put it on my sign. And I think I'm going to be using one of the wooden sticks and placing it this way so it has a little bit of a pole and the birdhouse sitting a little higher on the sign. Very rarely do I leave any of my signs pure white. So what I'm going to do with this is dry brush some of the aged gray chalk paint across it in a horizontal fashion. And then I'm going to use my pencil to draw some planks. I'm going to do this on both sides of the sign. It's time now to glue on the birdhouse, and I've used a medium-sized wood piece from the Dollar Tree selection, and I'm just going to use some hot glue and put it in place. So the sign's going to read The Schwoven's Nest. For the word the and nest, I'm going to use this small stencil, and then I'm going to freehand the word Schwoven. If you've watched any of my other wood sign videos, which I hope you have, I'll put some of the links in the description box below. And what I like to do with stencils is use my pencil to trace out the letter. I'm not very good at using the little sponges and getting the paint inside of the letters without making a horrible mess, and then I've got to do a bunch of cleanup. So because I'm using paint pens and markers to do these small letters, it's just easier for me to use a pencil to trace the outline. I've also found out that it's much quicker to do it this way and you have less cleanup afterwards. Since I have done a lot of wooden signs and I'm fairly good at doing freehand lettering, I usually just take it out of my head at this point, and so I'm just going to use my pencil and trace out the lines of how I want the word Schwoven to look, and then I'll just continue on with my stencil for the word nest, and then I'll start filling it in with my paint markers. Here I'm using Craft Smart oil-based paint marker, and these are really convenient to use. One thing you've got to remember when you're using them is not to press down really hard, because you'll get a big blob of ink that comes out or paint that comes out. So you want to have a really light touch, and that's how you will get the best coverage. So when I'm doing my letters, I like to do the downward stroke thick and the upward stroke thin. That's something that I picked up just from watching other videos and other people doing hand lettering. Another tip that I have for you is to keep the thickness of the letters consistent. So I tend to do my thickness on the left, only because that's usually where the downstrokes are. The downstrokes when you're writing are usually on the left, and the upstrokes are usually on the right. Here's the finished product sitting on a shelf in my craft room. I think it's going to be a great addition to my craft fair tables. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.